A very good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So, children, let us start today's mathematics class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 10, circles. Children, today I am going to take summary lecture of this chapter number 10, circles. Fine. And of course, the content I am going to cover from NCERT. Now children, in today's summary lecture, the topics which I am going to make you recall, they are number 1, define circle. Number 2, important terms which are related to circle like radius, diameter, chord, arc, circumference, semicircle, segment, whether it is minor or major, sector, minor or major, and of course secant. Fine children. After that children, I will explain you the definition of tangent to a circle. Then children, I will be taking theorem 10.1. Children, then our fifth topic will be theorem 10.2. And children, at the last I will be taking some problems which are based on theorem 10.1 and theorem 10.2 from exercise 10.2. Correct children? Children, here you can see a big circle. So let us discuss the very first thing, that is the definition of circle. What do you mean by circle? Circle is a collection of all the points in a plane which are at a constant distance from a fixed point that is known as the center of the circle. Correct students? I repeat. A circle is a collection of all the points in a plane figure which are at a constant distance. Whatever points you are going to take on the boundary of the circle, if you take millions of points also, children, those all points will be at a fixed distance from a fixed point. That point is known as the center of the circle. Correct children? And that very fixed distance is known as the radius of the circle. So if someone asks you define radius, then you will define like this, that radius is a line segment whose one end point lie on the circumference, or you can call it the boundary of the circle, and another end point is the center itself. Correct children? Okay. Now the next term is, what do you mean by diameter? Diameter is also a line segment. Here you can see A dash A is a diameter. You can see R dash R is also a diameter. Fine. Diameter is a line segment whose both the endpoints lie on the circumference of the circle or on the boundary of the circle, and it passes through the center point also. Correct children? Fine. Now let us switch to the one more thing I want to add in it, that diameter is always double of radius. Here you can see that OA is radius, OA dash is also radius, but complete A dash A is diameter. Fine. In the same manner children, OR dash is radius, here OR is also radius, and RR dash is complete diameter. Correct? Now let us switch to the next point, that is define chord. What do you mean by chord? Chord is again a line segment whose both the endpoints lie on the circumference of the circle, but it does not pass through the center point. Here you can see children that PQ is a chord. Fine children? Okay. So children, here one question strikes in my mind, that what is the difference between chord and diameter? Chord is a line segment whose both the endpoints lie on the circumference of the circle, but it does not pass through the center. But on the other hand, diameter is also a line segment whose both the endpoints lie on the circumference of the circle, but it passes through the center point also. So in short, we can say that diameter is the longest chord of the circle. Correct students? Now children, my next point is, what do you mean by arc? So arc, a continuous piece of the circle, is called arc. Here you can see RBA. This is a continuous piece of a circle. This is a continuous part of a circle. So this is known as arc. So arc is of two type, either minor arc or major arc. So what do you mean by minor arc and what do you mean by major arc? Here children, through diagram you can judge the smaller part is called the minor arc, that is RBA. This is the symbol of arc. So RBA is the minor arc. But if I talk about the major arc, then you have to start from this point only, R, R dash, R dash, and then A. R dash A. This complete arc is known as the major arc. Correct children? Now our next point is, what do you mean by semicircle? A diameter of a circle divides the circle in two equal parts. Semi means half. So half of the circle is known as semicircle. Correct children? Now next is, what do you mean by circumference? Circumference is nothing but the boundary of the circle. So boundary of the circle is known as the circumference of the circle, or in other words you can say that length of the complete circle is also called the circumference of the circle. Clear children? Now children, our next topic is segment. What do you mean by segment? Here children, you can see that MN is also a chord. So the region between the chord and the arc is known as segment. Here children, you can see that the smaller arc, or I should say that the minor arc is covered. So what we are going to call this complete segment as minor segment. How will you give the name? This is M R dash N M. Fine. So this complete region which is between a chord and the minor arc is known as minor segment. Let us talk about major segment. Major segment will also be again that region which is bounded by or which is between the chord and the major arc. Here you can say that this complete arc is the major arc. Okay, and of course MN is the chord. So this complete region will be known as major segment. Correct children? Now through this smaller circle also you can better understand. Have a look. PQ is a chord. So this PMQ, this is complete arc. Fine children? So this region PMQP, this is known as minor segment. Let us talk about the major segment PRQP, because basically segment is that region which is between the chord and the major arc or the minor arc. That depends. If you are going to talk about the minor segment, definitely you have to take the minor arc. If you are going to talk about the major segment, this complete region, then you have to take the major arc. Correct children? Now our next point is, our next topic is, what do you mean by sector? The region between an arc and two radii of the circle is known as a sector. Children, here you can see that RBA is the smaller part, or I should call it the minor arc. So that's why this region will be known as minor sector. How will you give the name? This is ORAO. So this complete region which is basically between the radii and an arc is known as minor sector. Let us talk about major sector. Just leave this region only and rest of the complete region will be taken as major sector. But what region you have to cover? You have to start covering from here. But make sure that this region should also be covered between two radii. These are two radii and of course the major arc. Correct children? This is complete major arc and these are two radii. Okay. So this complete region is known as major sector. Clear children? Now children, again I am telling you the difference between minor sector and major sector through this smaller circle. Please have a look. This is a circle with center point O. This complete region which is between two radii and an arc is known as minor sector. So how will you give the name? This is OPQO. Fine children? If I talk about the major sector, then you have to take this complete region OPR, Q and then O. Okay, because this region is also coming between two radii. These are two radii and of course the major arc. Correct students? Now I am going to switch to the next topic, that is tangent to a circle. Basically, children, through this topic, I am going to tell you the relation between a circle and a line. Okay, in a plane. So, tangent to a circle. Case number 1. When there is no common point between a circle and a line AB. Here you can see that this is a line AB. Okay, and this is a circle with center point O. So, in this case, this line will be known as non-intersecting line. Why? Because this line is not going to touch, not going to intersect circle at any point. Correct, children? Now I am going to discuss case number 2, in which again I am going to tell you the relation between a line and a circle in a plane. When there are two common points P and Q between a circle and a line AB. Here you can see, children, that there is a circle with center point O and AB is a line. AB line is going to intersect a circle at 2 points, that is P as well as Q. So in this case, children, AB will be known as the secant of the circle. So what do you mean by secant of a circle? Secant of a circle is that line which intersects the circle exactly at 2 points. Correct, children? Now I am going to discuss case number 3. When there is only one common point between a circle and a line. Here you can see that this is a circle with center point O and AB is a line. AB and circle both are going to touch each other exactly at one point, and then this point is known as point of contact. And in this case, children, AB will be considered as the tangent to a circle at point P. Correct, students? Now, one important point also I want to include in it, in which I will let you know the number of tangents from a point on a circle. Children, here you can see that the point P, definitely it is that point where the line as well as the circle are going to touch with each other. Okay. When the point lies on the circumference of the circle or on the circle itself, then only one tangent will be passed from there. Okay. But in case number 2, when point P lies somewhere outside the circle, then maximum 2 tangents can be drawn. That is PQ and PR. Okay. And if somebody asks you, let me know what is the length of the tangent, then you have to start measuring the length from outside point up to the point of contact. Do not go beyond it. Fine, children? Okay. If point P lies inside the circle, then definitely no tangent will be drawn, because tangent is that line which touches the circle exactly at one point. Here you can see, children, if I am going to pass a line from point P, it is going to touch the circle at 2 points, not exactly at one point. So in this case, no tangent will be drawn. Now, children, I am going to start theorem 10.1. What is the statement of theorem 10.1? The tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. Or we can say like this also, that radius is always perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Okay. So let us start recalling this theorem's proof. What is given? A circle with center O and a tangent AB at a point P of the circle. Here you can see that there is a line which is going to pass. Fine. And it is going to touch the circle exactly at one point, and that point is P. So here P is known as point of contact. What we have to prove? We have to prove that OP is perpendicular to tangent AB. So children, a small construction has been done to prove it. I have taken a point Q other than this point of contact P on line AB. Fine. So I have taken the point in such a way that the point should be outside the circle. It should not be inside the circle. Because if point taken inside the circle, then AB will not be a tangent. It would become a secant. You can see in this diagram. Here I have taken the point Q inside the circle. So AB has become a secant. Why? Because it is going to intersect the circle at 2 points, not at 1 point. Fine, children? So let us start doing its proof. Take a point Q other than P on the tangent AB. This is part of the construction. And then join OQ. Here I have joined O and Q also. Fine. Now, here Q is a point on the tangent AB other than point of contact P. So Q lies outside the circle. But as I have explained you, if Q lies inside the circle, then definitely AB will become a secant. It will not remain a tangent. Fine, children. So let OQ intersect the circle at point R. Here you can see that OQ, when I joined O to Q, then it is going to intersect a complete circle at point R. Okay, children. So here you know that OP must be equal to OR. Why? Because they both are radii of the circle. Okay. So the length OQ must be greater than OP. Fine. Have a look. OP is equal to OR. Why? Because they are radii of the circle. So OQ can be written as OR plus RQ. How? This is OQ is equal to OR plus RQ. Fine. Okay. So we can say that OQ is greater than OR. After all, OQ is the summation of OR and RQ. Fine. So if OQ is greater than OR, so it means it must be greater than OP as well. Why? Because OP and OR, they both are same. They are the radii of the circle. So thus, OP is shorter than any other segment joining O to any point of AB. Whatever point, children, you are going to take. Suppose if you have taken millions of points over here, on line AB, the distance between O, this center point, and the point of contact will be the shortest distance. Fine. Just have a look. Suppose if I am going to join this center point with millions of points, always this distance will be the bigger than the distance between O and P. Fine, children? Okay. Also, we know that the shortest distance between a point and a line is perpendicular distance between that point to the line. This I have explained you. Fine. So definitely OP must be perpendicular to AB. Okay. Have a look once. Here is the diagram to explain that very point. Here suppose this is a point P and this is a line segment. Okay. Then PR will be the shortest distance. Why? Because this is the distance between a point and a line. Okay. So this is the perpendicular distance from this point to this line. So this will be known as the shortest distance, because if you take millions of points over here on this line segment, always these distances must be bigger than the distance PR. Correct, students? So hence proved that radius is always perpendicular to the tangent, because AB is tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children? Now, children, one more most important theorem is there. Theorem 10.2. The length of the tangent drawn from an external point to the same circle, they are always equal. Have a look. Here you can see that there is a circle with center point O. A is external point. So what can we say? AP as AQ, they both are the tangents. Okay. Because from an external point, two tangents can be drawn. Now we have to prove that AP must be equal to AQ according to the statement of the theorem, that the length of the tangent drawn from an external point to a circle are equal. So for that, children, what I am going to do, have a look. First of all, what is given? Given, let AP and AQ be two tangents from point A to the circle with center O. We have to prove that AP is equal to AQ. Fine, children? Okay. Now one small construction I am going to do. I am going to join OP, which is actually the radius, OQ, this is also the radius, and I am joining A to O also. So three joinings are there, OP, OQ and OA. What was the need of doing this construction? Basically, I wanted to make this complete quadrilateral. I wanted to divide this complete quadrilateral into two triangles. I want to prove them congruent now. Children, according to theorem 10.1, which I have just explained you know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So definitely angle APO must be of 90 degree. In the same manner, AQO will also be of 90 degree. Fine, children. So what are the three things which I have to consider so that congruency criteria will be satisfied. So what I am going to do, in triangle APO and triangle AQO, angle APO is equal to AQO, both are of 90-90. This is common, AO is common and PO is equal to OQ. Why? Because they both are radii of the circle. So this is right angle, this is hypotenuse, the common side, and any other side. So which criteria I have adopted? RHS criteria of congruency. So hence it is proved that AP must be equal to AQ. This angle 1 must be equal to angle 2. This angle 3 must be equal to angle 4. Correct, children? By CPCT, corresponding parts of the congruent triangles. Now understand its written proof. We know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So as AP and AQ are the tangents and OP and OQ are the radii of the circle, then children we can say that OP, which is the radius, is perpendicular to AP, which is a tangent, and OQ is perpendicular to AQ. Let them consider as equation number 1. Fine. Now, in triangle OPA and OQA, OP is equal to OQ. Why? Because both are radii of the circle. Angle OPA is equal to OQA, both are of 90 degree. Reason you know, because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. And OA is equal to OA common. Fine. So what can we say? That triangle OPA is congruent to triangle OQA by RHS congruency rule. Fine. So by CPCT or by corresponding parts of the congruent triangle, we can say that AP is equal to AQ, which are the length of the tangents. So hence proved. Now children, I am going to take few questions from exercise 10.2 so that you can better understand the usage of both of these theorems. Fine. So two concentric circles are of radii 5 cm and 3 cm. Find the length of the chord of the larger circle which touches the smaller circle. So from statement you may have understood that whatever is the chord for the larger circle that is touching the smaller circle means that would become the tangent to the smaller circle. Correct, students? So let us start its proof. Let C1 and C2 be two circles of radii R1 3 cm because the radius are given, and R2 5 cm having common center point O. I explained you children what do you mean by concentric circles. Concentric circles are those circles which are having the same common center point. Okay. So let AB be the chord of the circle C2 such that it touches the circle C1 at point D. You will better understand when you will look at the diagram. Here is the diagram of concentric circle. You can see that they both have the same center point O. This is smaller circle, its name is C1, and the bigger circle, its name is C2. Fine. Whatever is the chord for the larger circle, that is actually the tangent for the smaller circle. Children, here you can see that D is the point of contact. Fine. Okay. Now, clearly AB be the tangent to the circle. Here you can see. Bigger circle or the larger circle has radius 5 cm. I have shown it in the diagram. And the smaller circle is of radius 3 cm. Fine. Okay. So, it is going to touch at point of contact, that is point D. So, as we know according to theorem 10.1 that OD must be perpendicular to AB. Why? Because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children? Okay. One more theorem you have to recall, which you learned in class 9, that whenever there is a perpendicular drawn from the center point to the chord, that bisect the chord. So as you know that OD is perpendicular to AB, so AD must be equal to DB. Why? Because OD is perpendicular on AB. So if a perpendicular is drawn from the center point, it bisect the chord. Fine, children? Okay. Now here you can see that triangle ODB has become a right angled triangle. So while applying Pythagoras theorem, I can find out dB, and I have to double this dB so that I can calculate the complete length AB. Fine children. Now just look at the solution. In right angle triangle ODB, OB square is equal to OD square plus DB square by Pythagoras theorem. OB is, children, that very side which is opposite of 90. So that's why it is known as hypotenuse. And what is its length given? 5 centimeter. So 5 centimeter whole square is equal to 3 centimeter whole square plus dB square. So after solving, I have got dB square is equal to 16, that is 25 centimeter minus square minus 9 centimeter square. So dB is equal to 4 centimeter. Children, you know that length of the chord AB is double of AD. Fine. So that is twice of 4 centimeter, that is equal to 8 centimeter. This basically we wanted to find out the length of the chord AB. Clear, children? Now let us take one more question. A quadrilateral ABCD is drawn to circumscribe a circle. The simplest meaning of circumscribe is covers a circle. It means circle will be inside the quadrilateral. Then and only then a quadrilateral ABCD is covering the circle. But we have to prove that AB plus CD is equal to AD plus BC. These are basically the sum of the opposite side of a quadrilateral. Fine, children. So now what is given? A quadrilateral ABCD which is circumscribing a circle. Here you can see the diagram. That circle is inside and quadrilateral is outside. So quadrilateral is circumscribing or covering a circle. Fine. To prove that AB plus CD, these are opposite sides of a quadrilateral, is equal to BC plus AD. These are also opposite sides. Means the sum of the opposite side must be equal. This we have to prove. Now, we know that the length of the tangents drawn from an external point to a circle are equal according to theorem 10.2. So children, if I consider here A as the external point, then AP must be equal to AS. Why? Because AP and AS, they are the length of the tangents drawn from the same external point to the same circle. Okay. So AP is equal to AS. In the same manner, BP must be equal to BQ while taking B as external point. While taking C as external point, CR must be equal to CQ. In the same manner, DR must be equal to DS. Here I have written all whatever I have spoken. So consider them as equation 1, 2, 3 and 4. While adding equation 1 to 4, we get AP plus BP plus CR plus DR. I have put them in brackets, is equal to AS plus BQ plus CQ plus DS. Have a look. Okay. Now children, as I have to make the complete opposite sides of the quadrilateral. So AP plus PB will become AB. Have a look. This has become AB. Plus CR plus RD will become CD. Look, CR plus RD will become CD. Here I have to reshuffle the pairing. Why? Because AS plus DS will make AD. Have a look. AS plus DS is making complete AD. In the same manner, BQ plus QC will make complete side BC. So this is BQ plus QC is equal to BC. So hence proved. Clear, children? Now children, let us switch to next question. This is most important question of this chapter. In the figure, XY and X dash Y dash are two tangents to a circle with center O, and another tangent AB with point of contact C intersecting XY at A and X dash Y dash at B. We have to prove that angle AOB is equal to 90 degree. So let us understand this statement through diagram. So children, here is the diagram. There is a circle with center point O. XY and X dash Y dash are two tangents. to the circle with center point O and another tangent AB with point of contact C intersecting XY at point A and at point B. We have to prove that angle AOB means 2 plus 3. This is 3. 2 plus 3 is of 90 degree. Correct? So this is quite simple question. What we have to do? First of all, given XY and X dash Y dash are two parallel tangents. Another tangent AB touches the circle at C. Here it is. And intersect XY at A and X dash Y dash at B. Here they are. We have to prove that angle AOB is equal to 90 degree. Fine, children. Now, what I am going to do to prove it? I am going to prove these two triangles, that is APO and ACO congruent. So let us prove them congruent. How? In triangle APO and triangle ACO, AP is equal to AC, length of the tangent from external point. Look. Children, if A is the external point, then AP must be equal to AC. So this is one side equal of both the triangle. AO is common. Fine. And OC and OP, they are also equal. Reason behind? They are radii of the circle. Have a look. AO is equal to AO common. OP is equal to OC, radii of the circle. So by triple S criteria, I can say that triangle APO is congruent to triangle ACO. So by CPCT, children, what can I say? That angle 1 is equal to angle 2. In the same manner, if I prove these two triangles congruent, which are these two triangles? BQO and BCO. Then of course by CPCT I can prove that angle 3 is also equal to angle 4. Correct? But you are not supposed to show it. Just to show the congruency for one pair of triangles. So triangle BQO is also congruent to triangle BCO. Similarly by triple S congruency criteria. So angle 3 must be equal to angle 4. Now children, have a look. This PQ is a straight line. So angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 will be of 180 degree. Straight line angle. Look. Fine. Now I am going to replace 1 by 2 and of course 4 by 3. This is angle 2 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 3 is equal to 180. So twice of angle 2 plus twice of angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. So children, angle 2 plus angle 3 must be of 90 degree. And what were angle 2 and angle 3? Have a look in the diagram. This was complete angle 2 plus angle 3, that is angle AOB. So hence it is proved that angle AOB is equal to 90 degree. Understood? Now children, I am going to make you recall example number 2, which is most important example. Two tangents TP and TQ are drawn to a circle with center point O from an external point T. We have to prove that angle PTQ is equal to twice of angle OPQ. So first of all, what is given? A circle with center O. An external point T is also given. And of course, two tangents are drawn, that is TP and TQ to the circle. Correct, students? Where P and Q are the point of contact. Now you please look at this diagram, you will better understand. So this is a circle with center O. T is the external point. TP and TQ are the tangents to the circle. And P and Q are the points of contact. Now to prove that angle PTQ, this is PTQ, is equal to twice of angle OPQ. For your convenience, I have given the name, that is angle 1. This smaller part, that is OPQ, is angle 2. This is angle 3, this part, that is TPQ, and TQP is angle 4. Correct, children? So what we have to prove? We have to prove that this angle 1 is double of angle 2. Correct? So what is to be done? Here TP and TQ are the length of the tangents, and according to theorem 10.2, we know that length of the tangent from the external point to the circle is same. So can we say that TP is equal to TQ? Of course. So children, when I joined these both, the point of contact, I have got an isosceles triangle TPQ. How it has become an isosceles? Because TP is equal to TQ. Fine. As TPQ is an isosceles triangle, it means base angles must be equal. So can I say that angle 3 must be equal to angle 4? Correct, children? Okay. Now in this very triangle, I am going to apply angle sum property. That is angle 1 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree. Angle sum property of a triangle. In this triangle TPQ, I have applied angle sum property of a triangle. Correct, students? Okay. Now just tell me, is OP perpendicular on TP? Of course, because OP is radius and TP is tangent. We know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So what can we say? That angle 2 plus 3 must be equal to 90 degree. Have a look. Angle 2 plus 3 must be equal to 90 degree. Reason? Because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children. Now from this very equation, I am going to calculate the value of angle 3, which will be equal to 90 degree minus angle 2. Correct? Now children, I know that angle 3 and angle 4 both are equal. Why? Because they are the base angles of the isosceles of an isosceles triangle. Fine. So if angle 3 is equal to 90 degree minus angle 2, then angle 4 must be equal to 90 degree minus angle 2. Why? Because they both are equal. So let us consider them as equation number 2 and equation number 3. Put the value of equation number 2 and 3 in equation number 1, which is showing us the angle sum property of a triangle. So this is angle 1 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180. So at place of angle 3, children, I am writing 90 degree minus angle 2. In the same manner, at place of angle 4 also, I am writing 90 degree minus angle 2. So after putting the values, we have got angle 1 plus 90 degree minus angle 2 plus 90 degree minus angle 2 is equal to 180. From where did I get this 180? Correct. This is sum of all the three angles of a triangle. So 90 plus 90 will become 180. Angle 1 plus 180 degree minus angle 2 minus angle 2. It would become minus twice of angle 2 is equal to 180 degree. 180 and 180 both are going to be cancelled. So angle 1 is equal to twice of angle 2. This was with negative sign. I have taken it on right hand side. So it has become angle 1 is equal to twice of angle 2. So what was angle 1? Angle 1 was PTQ. This is PTQ is equal to twice of angle 2. Angle 2 is what? That is OPQ. So hence proved that angle 1 is equal to twice of angle 2, or in other words we can write that angle PTQ is equal to twice of angle OPQ. Got it, children? Hope through this summary lecture you may have recalled all the important concepts whatever I have taught you in 5 lectures of chapter number 10, circles. Fine, children? Now this is your turn to prove yourself. You have to revise complete chapter number 10, circles, along with examples from NCERT for test tomorrow. Correct, children? And you have to do it in practice notebook. The revision work must be done in practice notebook. And children, it is very much mandatory that you are supposed to mail it to me. Whatever work I am assigning you, whether you have to do it in practice notebook or you have to do it in homework notebook, but you have to send me the mail of that practice work and your homework. Correct, children? So that's it for the day. Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.